Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm here to talk to you about my piercings today. This is a video that has been highly requested. You guys are going cray, you want to know what piercings I have, the pain of them, ones that I recommend. So I'm going to go through all my piercings. I'm going to try and go through them as I got them, but I can't remember some of them, like what way I got them or what ones I got before the others, if that makes any sense. I think I have 11 piercings in total, or 12. I don't know, we'll probably know as I'm going along. But some of my piercings I've had like since I was like 4 years old, and some of them I got as recent as 6 weeks ago. So I'm gonna start with my earlobes, because they were the first piercings that I ever got done. My mom got me them. I don't think I quite started school, so I was about 4 or 5. And they're just my earlobes. My auntie actually did them at the time, because she used to run a jewellery store and kind of clothing store years ago, and it was actually a really popular store because it was all like the height of the 90s and everybody was into like their tie-dye and their different piercings. And so one evening she said that she would do my earlobes, and that's what I got done. They were like, I don't know, like no pain at all. I can't really remember because I was really tiny. I don't remember them being sore. I remember like my mum used to put little studs in them, kind of like similar to this, like little daisies and flowers and ladybirds and stuff. The next piercing I did get, I got this myself, and that's my cartilage, and it's up here. So this one here is my cartilage. I got that one done myself, like it was my choice to get it done, and I got it done when I was 11, and it was my own decision to get it done. I didn't ask my mum or anything like that. I just went in and got it done, and she went ape when I got home and she saw it. She was like, oh my sweet dear lord, what have you done to yourself? But she kind of like calmed down after about a day or two. She was really annoyed though that I went behind her back. And in Ireland you actually need permission when you're under 16 from a guardian to get any piercings done. I don't know, I never got asked any permission. The girl did it with a gun, like a piercing gun, and you're not supposed to do cartilage with a piercing gun. You have to do it with a needle. You're only supposed to do soft tissue with a gun, so like your earlobes, and it took months to heal. It was one of the most painful piercings I ever got. It was so sore because the girl did it so wrong, and she should have known better running the store, like a piercing store. The next piercings I got done were my second lobes. There's my second lobes. I just have a little pearl in that one and a little bar. I don't know what I have in the other one. Okay, the story behind those piercings is actually kind of sad, because one of my best friends passed away when I was 13 and she took her own life. We were both 13 at the time. You can imagine being 13, losing your best friend, and especially in a very traumatic way. But we always said that we would get our double lobes pierced together, and she passed away before we could get them done together. So I got them done when she passed away. I think I got them done like very soon after her funeral, and they always remind me of her, and I always think of her. And she got her cartilage done with me that time when we went in to get the cartilage done, so I always think of her when I think of my second lobes. Okay, the next piercing that I want to talk about is this one here, and I have a little cross in it. I decided to get this one day when I was sitting in Jimmy's car, and I was looking at my ear, and I was like, I'd like a bit of jewellery on this side of my ear. I just went in that evening or that afternoon and just got it pierced. That piercing did not hurt in the slightest. I'd say about like a 3 out of 10. It was just a pinch. I will write down the ratings of all the other piercings down below because I'm forgetting. And I healed pretty quickly. I'd say within like 6 weeks it was fully healed, and I could replace the jewellery in it. The next piercing that I got was, I think, my tongue. Actually, that's the one I got after that. I have a long bar in it at the moment actually, and I shouldn't really have the long bar in it. I just couldn't find a short bar. They have long bars and short bars. The long bars are for people who just get it pierced, and the short bars are after the swelling goes down. Well, I'll explain what happens when you go in to get it done. First of all, stick out your tongue. He marks it up. Not everyone can get their tongue pierced, unfortunately, because it depends on where the veinage is in your tongue. If you have veins going down the middle of your tongue, you can't get it done. Put a clamp on it, and then a needle goes right up through your tongue. That's the only way they can do it. It's done with the needle. Now, the thing I will say about your tongue piercing is it's not uncomfortable for the minutes that you're getting it done. The clamp is a bit uncomfortable. Getting the piercing done, it's just kind of like a sting. It's not really like a pain. It's not like my mum. I remember when I was getting it done, my mum was like, oh my god, it's gonna be like when you bite your tongue and the pain of that. But no, it's not anything like that. It's like a sting. It's very hard to explain. It'd be like if a bee stung your tongue. Exactly the same feeling. It's like just a little intense sting. The pain goes away after a few minutes, and then your tongue is actually fine for a couple of hours, and then it starts to get a little bit sore and swells. And because your tongue is a muscle, it's really quick at healing. It was probably the quickest healing piercing I have in my whole entire body. That piercing to get done would have been about a 4 out of 10. I didn't feel it very painful at all. I thought it was actually fine, but the pain afterwards, it was high enough now. I would put it up in the 7s and 8s because your tongue is swelled so bad and all you can do is drink liquids for a week. It may seem like it's okay, but it's so annoying. And then when you do start to eat solid foods, you start to eat them really slowly because you're afraid in case your tongue bar will hit off your teeth. It's really unpleasant experience, and something that I would only recommend to somebody who's really seriously wanted to get their tongue pierced, because the experience in itself when it's healing is so uncomfortable. It's fine once it heals, and it heals pretty quickly. I have mine pierced about 8 years, I'd say. I have it done ages. I got it done when I was in school. My mum didn't mind me getting it done. She didn't have any problems. But if one of your parents or both your parents or any guardian says to you that you shouldn't get a piercing done, then you have to listen to them, because their advice is what's most important. Especially about piercings on your face. Like that one is pretty visible. It's in my mouth. Like most people will be kind of looking at your mouth when you're talking to them, and it's kind of distracting. I don't often have it in because I work obviously in a nutrition clinic, and it's kind of, I don't know, not really appropriate maybe to have it in. I do love it. It's one of my favorite piercings that I have. I wear plastic balls in my tongue piercing, and I do recommend as soon as you can to get plastic balls into it, because it'll bang off your teeth. It just does naturally, and it doesn't with me anymore. I've never chipped a tooth or broken a tooth or done anything with it, but I have heard horror stories. Just to bear that in mind, it is a piece of plastic or a piece of metal in your mouth, and your teeth are very valuable, so be careful because you could damage them or the enamel or anything like that. When it's healing, you're giving a mouthwash to clean it out. You need to wash it, I think, twice, 3 times a day, something like that. Your piercer will tell you that. I'm going to move back over to this ear. I'm going to talk about this piercing here. This is your tragus. This is another one of my favourite piercings ever. I absolutely love it. It's just so dainty. My tragus wasn't an overly painful piercing. It was, I'd say, about a 5. I have a very high threshold for pain, guys. I just want to remind you of that. The tragus was a little bit more painful than my tongue getting it done initially, but the healing process was pretty fine. Like, it was okay, and I was able to get in and around and clean it, and it was easy. And to just make sure that none of your hair gets caught in it. That was one of my biggest issues with it. My hair would kind of get caught in it, like it does now even, but obviously it doesn't hurt now. When you get it done, obviously it's going through cartilage. I could hear my cartilage crack, like I could hear it going through the needle, which it wasn't really that unpleasant for me. But just if you are a bit queasy about things like that, just to let you know, again, not everybody probably experiences that. It was just probably me. I think it was done healing in about a month. The only thing is, I do recommend if you are changing the ball on your tragus to go in and get it done professionally, because if the ball goes into your ear, which can easily happen, you'll have to get like tweezers to get the ball out, and it's just nasty. You just don't want to have to do that. So the next piercing I'm going to talk about is this one over here. So I'm going from like side to side, but I do want to do them as I got them, so that makes more sense in my mind telling you about them. When I got the Diath done, it was again the same pain as my tragus. It healed pretty quickly, about a 4 or 5, and pain threshold was somewhere in the middle. It wasn't extremely painful. A healing time about 4 or 5 weeks, and I got a ring in it, and I kept the ring in it. So I have the same ring in it for years. And then my final piercing on my ears. Now, is that called the anti-tragus? I'm not sure. That's what it looks like, and I absolutely love that one too. Again, the same pain as the Diath. It wasn't that bad. It was actually fine and relatively quick at healing. I just want to say one thing as well about pricing. I have no idea about prices of piercings. Go in and ask your piercer. It depends on where you get it done. So the next piercing that I got was my belly button. I got that done when I was about 13, and I love it. It's like, I love all my piercings so much, but that is a really, really nice piercing. I'll show you it now. I don't know if you can see that there. This is a little dangling one. My mum came with me to get that piercing done. I'd say it was about maybe a 5 on the pain threshold. It was a little bit more painful than getting my tongue pierced initially, but the pain afterwards didn't really get any worse. The one thing I will say about that is you have to keep it really, really, really clean. You have to keep all your piercings really clean and look after them. That one in particular, because if you get an infection in your belly button, it's not good. My final piercing, I'm not going to show you. This is my recent one. I got this done 6 weeks ago, and I'm not going to show you for obvious reasons, but I got my nipple done. I got my left hand side nipple done. Jimmy has his done as well, and he's healed in like next to no time, so I went in and got mine done. I got it done, like I said, about 6 weeks ago. For about a week and a half it was very painful. I was talking to other people before I went in and got it done, and they were saying that it was very, very painful for weeks and weeks on end and years, some of them said. For me, it was, the pain was excruciating when I was getting it done. It was one of the most painful piercings ever to get done. I don't think I've ever wiggled my toes as much in my life. It was pretty painful, I'm not gonna lie, and the swelling was pretty bad for the first 3 or 4 days. The swelling went down, and I have it in, like I said, 6 weeks. It is completely fine, absolutely no problems with it. I cleaned it twice a day, it's absolutely fine. I've gotten the piercing changed to the smaller bar, like it healed so quickly. Definitely one of the quickest healing times of any piercing that I've gotten. For pain, for that one, I would definitely say about a 7 when I was getting it done, and the healing went up to about an 8. It was pretty painful at times, I'm not gonna lie, and even sleeping on it was so bad. And you have to wear a me-pore patch, which is a little square plaster. I'm allergic to them, so I couldn't wear a me-pore either, so I had to wear big plasters for the first 2 nights sleeping in bed, just so it doesn't get caught in anything, or, you know, pull out or hurt yourself, you know. They are all my piercings. I have, I think, 2 or 3 in mind for my next ones. Like I said, I want to get something up here done, like my cartilage around here somewhere, I'm not sure. And I want to get my nose done. I had thought about getting my nose done a couple of years ago, but then I just never bothered. And it's kind of a piercing that I've wanted since I was about 11 or 12. I've wanted it for years and years and years, but I just never got it done. I love my piercings so much. They are a part of me and they make me unique, I suppose. If you do have any questions about piercings, leave them down below. I will answer as much as I can. Do your research, look into a lot of your piercings. Make sure you go to a reliable person to get your piercings done. I've gotten all mine done nearly in the same place, except for the ones that my auntie did and a couple of the dodgy ones. If you get it done by a reliable person, you're more inclined to have it last for years and years and years. Like, none of mine have ever grown out or fallen out. They've lasted the test of time, and I take good care of them. That's another thing. You really need to clean them, but not over clean them. You need to make sure that your hygiene is good with the piercings, and make sure you clean around it, and also try and not get it caught in your hair and your clothes and stuff, because that'll just not be good. Also, make sure if you're under 18 or under 16, whatever the laws are in your country, that you do go to your parent and make sure you get their permission before you go and pierce some part of your body. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Mwah. Bye!